What's good folks, it's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video, coming at you with an ultimate Riven guide. Simple, straight to the point, and hopefully easy to understand. I'll be going over what Rivens are and how they function, how to obtain them, how to optimize their use and upgrade them, and even a little on how and where to trade them. Rivens are special mods that are locked to specific weapons and weapon types. They are unique mods that come with random attributes and even polarities. But before you even get a chance to see these stats, they will be veiled, meaning locked and won't give you any bonuses. To unlock these stats, you need to unveil them by completing a certain challenge. These challenges can vary from killing a particular group of enemies with a specific action or weapon, all the way to speed fishing. To complete these challenges, the veiled Riven mods must be equipped on the associated weapon, and no worries, it won't cost you any mod capacity if it's veiled. Rivens can only be fitted to their corresponding weapon or weapon type, and you can only have a maximum of one Riven on a weapon, but each weapon you equip can have a Riven. So basically your primary, secondary, melee, sentinel weapon, and arc gun can all have Rivens equipped. And when I say weapon type, it's because a kit gun can either be a secondary or a primary. So kit gun Rivens get their own category and can be slotted into either a primary or a secondary. Rivens are basically used to increase the amount of damage you deal or allow you to have more flexibility on your builds and even offer more utility. They're used to either replace a mod to bring something that adds to that replaced mod along with more stats. You can have a maximum of 3 positive bonus attributes and a maximum of 1 negative attribute. The attributes on the Rivens will be determined by your Riven disposition. Riven disposition determines the popularity and usage of the weapon. The higher the disposition, the less popular the weapon, and vice versa. But you also have neutral dispositions that have an average usage among the player base. A Riven disposition can only be seen on your weapon if you have a veiled Riven for that weapon type or a Riven for that specific weapon. And the disposition will not be shared through all the variants of the weapon. So a regular version, syndicate, and a prime will all have their own disposition. For a weapon with a high Riven disposition, try your best to get 3 positive bonuses and 1 negative. Now why? Because having a negative will greatly increase your positives. If you want more detailed and updated information on dispositions, check the wiki. So let's see how many ways you can obtain a Riven. First, make sure you've completed your War Within and Chains of Hero quest and are mastery rank 8 or above. Anything lower and without the completion of the quests won't be able to trade or farm the Rivens. You can receive 1 as a reward from your daily sorties. You can obtain it from the tactical alerts or from the Gift of the Lotus alert. Also, farming Requiem mods for your Kuva Lich will provide you with Riven slivers. You can trade 10 Riven slivers weekly for a Riven, and the Riven you get will be random. Make your way to Ironwake on Earth and talk to Paladino, and of course, let's not forget buying it off other players. For Sentinel weapons, you can purchase them from Cephalon Samaris, and Arc Gun Rivens from the Arbitrations vendor. So once you get yourself a Riven, equip it on the corresponding weapon or weapon type and complete the challenge. Once you enter the mission, the Riven challenge will display itself, and if you fail, it will give you a small notification. Upon successfully completing the challenge, you can exit the mission, but there are some challenges that require you to fully complete the mission, so be careful. And when you make your way back, you're presented with your Riven and its unrolled attributes. You can be lucky and get an amazing set of bonuses, or just have utter garbage, because the stats you get on your Riven are not the final ones. You can cycle through these stats, and this is commonly known as rolling a Riven. But remember, rolling doesn't guarantee amazing bonuses right off the bat, as the stats are all randomized. It's one of the things that people despise but others adore, because you can have several rolls and still not even get anything good or worth it. The rolls of a Riven will be shown on the bottom right corner of your Riven. To roll your attributes, you would need a resource called Kuva, which needs to be farmed separately in different areas. Once you've obtained Kuva, it's time for you to go back to your modding station and search up the Riven and begin to roll, if you wish to do so. The Kuva needed to roll would start off at 900 and gradually increase, capping at 3,500. Unlike other mods, Rivens have limited storage. Once you find yourself out of Riven storage, you won't be able to do sorties, and to upgrade your Riven storage, you need to purchase Riven slots from the market. But you don't necessarily have to unveil or roll your Riven. You can always sell unrolled or unveiled versions of your Riven. So unrolled Rivens for particular weapons can sell for 100 to 500 or up to 1,000 regardless of stats, because there are people who would want to roll Rivens for the weapons in hopes to get better stats so that they can sell for a larger amount of platinum. So yeah, if you want to roll a Riven, make sure you go for an unrolled one. Never buy a rolled Riven to roll for better stats. There are 3 amazing trading sites to get your hands on Rivens: Riven.market and Warframe.market. I will leave a link to these sites in the description down below. But if you get Rivens for horrible weapons and have no way of selling them, you can get full Rivens and transmute them. But these Riven transmuters can only be obtained by defeating EIDOLONs. Alright, now what to look for in Rivens? It can be easy but sometimes hard. Most important thing is to take a look at the stats of the weapon and how they perform and what you want to use this weapon against. For example, looking at the Pangolin Prime, it has decent crit chance, decent crit multiplier, it has amazing base damage but horrible attack speed. Anything under 1 is already bad. Even with Berserker, it still feels slow. I mean, it's usable but slow for me. So taking a look at this build, it's the go-to viral loadout, balancing out the viral damage so it's not as prominent as the Slash, because Slash is far superior. With Blood Rush alone, you will be hitting consistent orange crits. But if you want to take it a step further, then you need crit chance on your Riven. Usually in a melee Riven, you want to replace Organ Shatter with a Riven that has crit damage and other 2 bonuses along with a negative. So my ideal Riven for a Pangolin Prime would be crit chance to take it to the red crit territory, crit damage since Organ Shatter is being replaced, and attack speed to boost the base attack speed, and of course a negative. Swords do not excel in heavy attacks, so a great negative would be negative melee combo efficiency. This determines how much combo you use up with each heavy attack strike. Another great negative would be negative damage towards infested, as they're weak and a trash faction. Also negative crit chance on slide, as slide attack crit builds are useless now. This is an amazing negative. Even a negative to one of its physical damage types, such as puncture or impact, as those 2 are insignificant and Slash is far superior. So let's emulate this Riven slightly with the use of Gladiator mods on our Deconstructor and Arcane Strike for the faster attack speed. If you don't care about red crits, then crit damage, attack speed, and range with a negative is a great roll. You want to avoid base damage in melee combo builds, as Condition Overload exists. For heavy attack builds and weapons, raw damage, crit chance, and crit damage with a negative is actually good, because you aren't building up combo and initial strikes are more important. And some melees don't need extra crit chance as they already hit red crits alone, so you want to build up on their utility and other forms of damage output, like more range and even elements. For primaries, you're looking for either more damage, multi-shot, and sometimes critical bonuses. Also, in some cases, replacing an element so you can form a particular element and have more bonuses. It can vary from different weapons, because it will never be the same throughout other weapons. So always look out for the stats on your weapon, how they work, and see what needs to be improved. That's if you're looking for a Riven. Here are a few bonuses and negatives you should look out for. Avoid status duration as a bonus and a negative. However, negative status duration is actually good in an Eidolon hunting Riven, as Eidolons aren't affected by any forms of status. Avoid a bonus physical damage type unless it's for a stat stick. Same with negative attack speed and range, but those 2 are great on stat sticks as Warframe pseudo-exalted weapons aren't affected by them. And a phenomenal negative on guns is negative zoom, especially for snipers. Also, if you're a hardcore profit taker runner, having bonus damage to Corpus on your Riven is actually beneficial. Bonus faction damage isn't great on any Riven unless it's specific to Profit Taker. Bonus faction damage is multiplicative, but having it on Rivens isn't always sought after. So guys, this is my short and sweet ultimate Riven guide. I do hope you've learned something from this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe. For more Warframe content, streams, and so much more, do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.